cybersecurity expert Charles Tendell.
Systemic failures that brought their whole systems down.
Charles Tendell, he's a certified ethical hacker.
Your emails, it turns out, are not nearly as private as you think.
Show really how vulnerable we are.
Charles Tendell, who deals with hackers all the time, says,
if you have to ask yourself, is this right? It probably isn't.
Welcome.
So I was curious to see if it would be possible. I read all the emails that you sent regarding, changing grades and all that. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if it would be possible to add my name to the National Student Clearinghouse Register and or the university to indicate that I actually completed school there.
Okay. Well, let's unpack that a little bit. So, what school is this? And just help me to understand where you're at. So, it's a school specifically that you want to get added to be able to say that you went to that school?
Correct. Well, I went to a university in Houston, the University of Houston. I went for several years, but I didn't graduate. So I'm curious to see if that is something that you could do to add my name either to there and or the National Student Clearinghouse. It's a clearinghouse where universities add their the students that graduated from their particular university. I didn't know if you could do either or, so I'm inquiring.
Well, I'd have to look more at the universities. I'd have to look more at the way they're structured. You attended the school, but you didn't graduate from the school. The short answer is there is no easy way to do what you're asking. I'd have to understand a lot of the moving parts as to what you're working with there. So like the degree path that this is going to be, what school it's going to be, how they actually input that information, the databases that these are all around. There's a lot of complex kind of moving parts that go between where you are and where you want to be. What I would recommend, what I recommend to most of my clients that do this is basically a distance learning kind of package, where what they do is they complete the programs or they finish the programs that they're looking for by essentially testing out of them. And so what you would do is you'd take a test, you'd get the remaining credits that you needed because you were already a student. You would essentially earn the degree, and then you'd get automatically added to all of the kind of databases and reports and things of that nature that you would need. So what's the urgency that's got you to the point where you kind of doing this really quickly?
Well, no, it's not anything urgently. It's just something that I know employers are asking for, and of course, when they do the background screenings, it's something that the companies are looking at. It's really just, for me, it's not having to go back to school to do it. So for me, it's just the ability to see if there's a shortcut or, something that I can do to get that completed without having to go back to school.
Okay. Now there's how many credits did you have? How far along in the process when you attended school?
I was halfway through. Okay. So I went to the University of Houston for 2 years.
Now, do you know whether the University of Houston has certificate programs?
No, sir, I don't.
If they've got a certificate program, what you might be able to do is convert your existing credits into an applicable certificate for the field that you're looking for. And then when they do call to verify your education, because a lot of times they verify, like, did the student attend? What was the course? So blah, blah, blah. Did they graduate is the next question. Did they graduate? Well, if you have the credits that say that you completed a certificate course, technically you did graduate a certificate course. You completed a certificate course, and they would probably say yes to you. So that might be able to give you an in. And if you put that on a resume, the certificate and not the degree, right? Then you're not, then you don't have to worry about it because that's what they're going to verify anyway. What sort of job are you after?
So I was applying for a position with Verizon as an enterprise sales rep for them. And so that's something that they're requiring. So it's a sales position. So I'm seeing that more and more sales positions, Charles, are asking for the certificate. Now, some people will say, it doesn't matter and or relevant experience. I mean, I've been in sales for 15 plus years. So to me, I've done it forever. So not sure why I need it, but I think just some organizations, some companies are requiring the certificate or the diploma, if you will.
Well, I mean, it's hard to get around that nowadays. It really, really kind of is. A lot of times they're really flexible. And how soon?
So let me ask you, no, it's not soon. So it's just something that I thought of because I'm starting to interview again for leaving the position that I'm at, if you will, and going to somewhere else. So I guess my other question to you is, and I think you may have answered it. So instead of the university, I know a lot of universities are using a national student clearinghouse database. Have you done something like that before for someone else, or is this something that you're familiar with?
I'm familiar with, if we're talking about the same database, I've heard it called a couple of different things. All of your information goes up into a big student body database, and that's what all of the people use to pull down your references and to do your verification. I'm familiar with it, and because of what I know about it, it's really not worth even trying to get into and flip a bit to be able to try and do that.
I understand. Okay.
Mostly because these universities, they know their students try this, right? They know that they do these things, and these organizations that partner up with them to be able to transfer this kinds of information, they know it as well. There's, like I said previously, there's a lot between where you are and getting to that point, and there's a giant red flag of, oh, look, we may have had some sort of intrusion happen, and just so happens that Flo over here is the only one whose information got changed. I wonder who did it.
Sure.
So
No, I understand.
Right. So going that way might be a little tricky. There are going to be a lot of people out there who are going to tell you, yes, they can do that. There are going to be a lot of people out there who are going to say to you flat out, oh, sure, let me do that. And the next thing they're going to say to you is shoot me a Western Union, or shoot me X amount in Bitcoin, or shoot me X amount in MoneyGram, or some sort of gift card or something like that. They do it that way so that you can't get your money back at all. And that's the number one only reason they do it that way is if you send them money that way, there's absolutely no way for you to get it back. You essentially just handed them cash.
Wow.
So watch out for anybody who tells you that they can do that for you. The only real way you're going to be able to accomplish what you're looking for is there are the distance learning kind of CLEP kind of things going on. Depending on what you've got education-wise right now, you might be able to convert that into a certificate and still kind of work your way around the issue. Because what they're looking for in most employers is they're not looking specifically for the degree. They're looking for your ability to finish and to reason. So if you completed the certificate program, it might still work. And because you already have the credits, it might still work. With the other distance learning portion, the testing portion that I was telling you about, that's not a back-to-school thing. That's you find the courses that you need. You go and take the test and you're done. If you need to do like a study guide or a crash course on that, there are crash courses on them. I've seen people get an entire bachelor's degree using this in 90 days. Because all they did was they found what they needed, they mapped out their degree path, they went and took the tests, and then went and just handed all of these credits, and they were done. So that's definitely a good option for you.
Okay. And you said I probably, so should I call the university directly to see if that's something that they offer? So how do I go about looking into, the certificate to get that completed?
Well, they may have certificate programs on their website. A lot of universities prefer not to to highlight their certificate programs. And they're going to do everything in their power to kind of downplay any value to them. Mostly because the certificate programs give you the education without giving you the more expensive piece of paper.
Sure.
And that's what you're using for. So you might have to call them directly and ask them if they have a certificate program that applies for what you're looking for. Or you might be able to find it on their website to do it as well.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a lot of good information, and I'll do that. I'll contact them and do that because at least I know I won't lose my money that way, right? Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't have
Okay.
any better news for you, but if there's anything else you need or you got any additional questions, go ahead and shoot me an email unless you got something for me now.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for your time today, and good luck.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.